Hey guys, and welcome to Monka, where occasionally the content will be mature like it should be, and what this channel is meant to be, of course, but because, I don't know, some of the videos I've been recording recently haven't been all that, but today I'm going to be talking about something because it's March 2nd when I'm recording this. I don't know when it's going to go live, probably a couple weeks from now if I had to guess, because I have other videos planned for this channel as well that I've recorded and everything, but it currently is 2nd of March and it's beautiful out, by the way. I just want to talk about the birth of spring, which is something beautiful that I love, because where I live we get the full array of seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. You get all of them in their respective categories. I know some places further up south, probably in Canada, they probably don't get a lot of the full range of seasons, I imagine, because they're closer to North Pole. And then down south in America, like North America, I mean, you got like Texas and Florida and California, and they probably don't get the full array of seasons because they're down near the equator. Where I live is like right smack dab in the middle of North America, so we kind of get the entire range of all the seasons, and so I really get to appreciate all the seasons. But the one that I do appreciate the most has to be spring, and to see it come back is pretty great because I just love spring, to be honest. I don't know if I can show you on my watch what the temperature is. There we go. It's backwards, 73 degrees out right now. Expected to hit 80. I don't think it will. Winter is a very hard season for me personally, like especially like this past winter, actually, winter 2022, I guess you could call it, wasn't actually the worst winter for me. I actually didn't have the worst time with it than I usually do, and I usually really struggle with the winter, like the coldness and the everything dying and being drab is usually really hard for me. I remember winter of 2021, the fall of 2020 honestly as well, was just like one of the hardest times I've went through probably in a long ass time. I would say in probably the last 4 or 5 years maybe. I can name a harder time that I went through. It's probably 2017, 2016. Yeah, I can name a harder time, but when it comes to like more recent memories, it was fucking hard to make it through this winter of 2021. Like it was really difficult, and you know, it's a lot of things. When the spring came around, that time around, it was such a relief just because it was so much off my mind when everything gets warm and everything. Seeing the spring is a lot of things because it's just, when the fall comes, everything starts to die, and there's some beauty in the fall, and I won't lie, there is some real beauty in the fall. Seeing the leaves fall and everything and all of that good stuff, and just, there's beauty in the fall, but there's also sadness in the fall, knowing that the winter is coming with the fall, because the fall brings the winter. Now, this winter in particular actually wasn't that bad around here. We actually had quite a few warm days through the winter, but also we had quite a few snow days as well when shit got really bad, because like I said, we live smack dab in the middle. Whatever waves of winter were coming through hit us like directly. Usually I like the birth of spring for a more mental reason, for mental health reasons, because when it comes to the winter and everything being cold and dying and being locked, and mainly it's just being inside a lot more than I like to be. I'm a very outdoorsy person. I like to go outside. I like to do shit outside, go around, you know, look at frogs, walk around in whatever nature park I find or want to go to. Like, just going outside doing shit is like, that makes up a lot of my life and a lot of what I enjoy doing. When the winter comes, I'm just locked inside, just not able to do all the shit that I love to do, whether that's going to the range and shooting, or going to the nature park and just kick back and relax and breathe in the fresh air and take in the sunlight, or go and catch frogs or observe nature or just do shit outside. There's a mental aspect to going outside and being in fresh air that I think a lot of people just take for granted. Like, especially if you live down south, dude, you can go outside all the time. While I do envy that type of shit, I also don't, because there is, to the cycle of seasons, there is something beautiful and nice and calming to it. Maybe it's just that everything comes to an end and you kind of realize that with the seasons, and you wouldn't be able to realize that we're somewhere where you only get just one season all year round. But yeah, this passing winter wasn't as bad as usually how I am during the winters, which is just depressed as hell and just sad and just miserable. And I remember winter of 2021 was just awful for me. It was so bad. I suffered so much, and I was so worried about this one, but I've grown a lot in the past years to the point where this passing winter wasn't all that bad, honestly. It wasn't horrific. I was able to make it through fine. It wasn't as bad as usually is, so maybe the winter just used to be a mental thing that I struggle with. I know fall of 2020 and winter of 2021 were probably going to be hard either way for me, but they were probably exacerbated by one particular thing, and you know what we're all, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it was exacerbated by that one particular thing. I won't mention it by name just because I don't want to. And obviously in 2022, that's way less of a worry. Like that was just not the thing that I had to worry about. But in the fall as well, that was just not something to worry about anymore. That was probably just a load off my mind, honestly. And with the birth of spring this time around, it's so beautiful, God. This spring. It's making me happy. I'm gonna cry. I just love the spring, and everything coming back to life is just so beautiful. Obviously, everything so far hasn't regrown back, but you know, when I went out to walk Monday and Tuesday, I heard the frogs and the birds singing, and I saw all the wildlife and the people out. The sun was shining. It was nice, and you know, it's just the start. The start of spring is just as beautiful as the middle of the spring because everything is just coming. You get to see like, oh, everything's going back to normal. Everything's coming back to life, and it's so beautiful. You know, this is just the start of things, really. We'll see everything growing back and the trees becoming green and all the nature coming back out. And, you know, going to the parks again, going to the range again. You know, just getting outside and just enjoying myself and ourselves, I should say, everyone who lives in the area near me and in areas that are like mine as well. Just getting out and enjoying again is just going to be so amazing. It's such a beautiful thing to see. And it really, even though I hate the winter, it makes me appreciate the winter somewhat and makes me appreciate where I live because I do get to see the full range of the seasons, the winter, the spring, the summer, and the fall. And I get to see the birth of spring and everything growing back as it died in the fall, in the winter, and now it comes back to life in the spring, and I get to see everything reborn almost in a new way. And it didn't feel like that last spring, honestly, but I felt like everything's been getting better since last spring, and so now I can actually kind of appreciate it more. I feel like now more than last year I can appreciate the birth of spring again more than I did before. I get to appreciate the birth of spring. And last year I feel like I did appreciate it, but I just get to appreciate it even more this year just because I'm in a better mental state than I was last year for sure. In the last probably 2 years, honestly. Like I'm so much better off that I can actually look at the spring and be like, appreciate its beauty to the fullest extent. And I don't think last year I was really able to do that. But yeah, man, I just went for a walk yesterday, and I went for a walk on Monday too, and I went for a walk today because it was beautiful today, and I had to get in before work, obviously, and walk around because it just was something I had to do because it was so beautiful out. Like I said, 73. It's still 73 out. It's supposed to get even more beautiful as the day goes on, but I mean, I got out when it was 70. That's still amazing. I appreciate the spring so much nowadays. I appreciate all the seasons. Even though I don't like the winter, I hate the winter for the 4 months that it lasts, or 3 or 4 months that it lasts. Usually it's 4. I don't like it at all, but I still do appreciate it because it really does. Every season complements every other season. And winter complements spring in the fact that winter just makes everything go drab and weary and everything dies out. But during spring, everything gets its chance to come back to life and spring back to life. And everything comes back to life. All the trees grow back. All the animals come back. Frogs, turtles. I saw a crayfish walking one day. I was walking, I saw the crayfish just scattering around, you know, rabbits. Everything just comes back to life. And it's just beautiful. And the weather is amazing. It's just such a great time to... I don't know, it's just a great time. It just makes me appreciate being alive when I get to see everything springing back to life and coming back to life. But I don't know, it's just a weird ramble. I had no plan of what to talk about, but I just want to talk. I don't know, I just love spring. I don't know, I just wanted to talk. But I appreciate spring and the fact that it's back. I'm very happy. And I'll have this video out before spring's done because I got to, or else this video is going to look fucking stupid. But thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you. Stay chill.